We're joined now by Climate Minister MP Graham Stuart, I think. A very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us again. Yeah. Can you explain to us basically what this is all about?
Sure. Well, after Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine, of course, there's been huge pressures on energy supply and prices around the world. And we have taken steps to protect the consumer, can protect businesses with our energy price guarantee at home, so that on the unit price of electricity or gas, families will see their bills reaching, on average, no more than about £2,500. But we're also looking to the long-term security as well. And today, as you say, the North Sea Transition Authority has announced nearly 900 blocks with a view to perhaps 100 new licences being issued so that more of the oil and gas, which we will burn in a net zero scenario going up to 2050, is produced here in the UK. And that's good news for a number of reasons. One, it's obviously great for the jobs in the oil and gas industry in the UK. Two, it's good for the economy. The oil and gas businesses are very highly taxed, and that's good for the revenue coming into the exchequer. And three, it's good for our energy security. If I haven't said that already, it's also good for the environment, because oil and gas produced in the UK has much lower emissions around its production than does the stuff that we import from abroad. So replacing imports with UK-produced oil and gas, while nonetheless maintaining our legally obliged trajectory to net zero in 2050, is a win all round for the country, and I'm delighted to see this announcement today.
Look, in all of this, are we talking new licences? Are we talking about new production then, or just relicensing what is already being produced?
We're talking about new licences, so I think there's 4 that are quite close to existing infrastructure, so they can be prioritised and come on sooner. As I say, the great news is that our production has, because of the professional levels that you'd expect to be required in the UK, have lower flaring or other issues that create emissions around production. We've got some of the most environmentally friendly, that doesn't sound too contradictory, oil and gas production in the world, and therefore that's good for us going forward for all those reasons I've given. But at the same time, of course, and when I was appointed to this job just a few weeks ago, I asked the boss, the Prime Minister, what my task was. She said to accelerate the expansion of offshore wind, in which, of course, we lead the world, accelerate solar, accelerate nuclear, and on all these fronts, we're looking to make sure that we're less vulnerable in future to the global energy price that we've seen causing such difficulties to everybody, everywhere. And it's just fortunate that although we have a winter with more risk coming up than we've seen in previous years, we've actually got one of the most diverse and strong energy supply systems in Europe. And that's why the National Grid say it's very unlikely that we'll see the blackouts which are dominating front pages and news headlines this morning.
How are these licences awarded? I mean, last time we heard of the acceleration of licensing because of a need, it was PPE during the pandemic, which we later found were handed to sort of in a questionable way to people who supported the Tories or who were Tory friends. How can we be sure this isn't going to happen this time?
Well, I don't think, Anne, I'm not an expert on the PPE issue, and I'm not sure that any such allegations, it's easy to make those slurs, but I'm not sure that they've been substantiated, and I'm sure you, Anne, least of all among journalists, would want to repeat slurs without evidential base. But it is possible to accelerate, but nonetheless go through a proper process and a rigorous process, and that's what we've got. We have among the highest standards in the whole world around the production. That's why our emissions, as independently verified, are among the lowest in the world around our production. So no, I think viewers can be confident that our system, albeit accelerated, is nonetheless rigorous and delivers the highest standards.
It's all for the longer term, of course, and it's fine that we're looking at that. We need that energy security. We are concerned about what is happening this winter. I mean, I know you said it's very unlikely we'll see these rolling blackouts. It has been suggested by the National Grid. Shouldn't we be having some sort of, as Jacob Rees-Mogg apparently wants, some sort of information campaign to get us all to be more energy efficient, to reduce the strain on the National Grid? Shouldn't we be looking at something like that?
Well, we always encourage people to be more energy efficient. We've got a £6 billion programme across this Parliament investing in energy efficiency, insulation and the like. The Chancellor just the other day in his fiscal statement supported Eco Plus and these other programmes to do more on that front. So we're always encouraging people to use energy more efficiently. It helps lower bills, it's good for the climate and the like. But in terms of our, the energy supply challenges for this winter, actually it's more about the peak, and that's why we're working with Ofgem. We've supported them in talking to big commercial gas users about a voluntary scheme there where they may, be paid in extremis to reduce their usage, and that will then reduce the strain on the system, create the flex, and likewise look to make use of the smart meters, which I was looking at mine this morning, being pleased it hadn't gone up more than I thought it might, and use that kind of technology in people's homes to allow people, again voluntarily, to reduce their energy use at the peak. A more general campaign, although, as I say, we have general information saying be efficient with energy, a more general campaign might make people think that, not having a bath at 2 p.m. was going to help the country with its energy security. And given the nature of our system, that's not really true. But I would always encourage people to use energy as efficiently as possible, and I think everyone knows that right now, given the prices.